Let's talk about enforcement. This sounds like a scary word, but it simply means protecting your trademark rights and making sure that they are not violated by unauthorized usage by others. So how do you enforce your rights? The most basic step you need to take to protect your rights is obtain a registration. Once you have a registered trademark, your mark is presumed valid and you are the presumed owner. This is a powerful status under the law. You'll also want to put others on notice that you're protecting your rights. If you have a registration, you can use the coveted circle R. If you fail to do this, you can't recover profits or damages unless the defendant had actual notice of the registration. If you don't have a registration yet, don't forget you'll also want to provide notice. You can use the TM to assert common law rights or for a pending application that you filed, or you can use SM for service marks. Now you have your registration and somebody else is using your mark. What do? The next step is probably to send a cease and desist letter. They are often very dry and mean. For example, they can demand you destroy all product, turn over all profits, stop advertising, and abandon applications and URLs. If you've been the recipient of these letters, it can be pretty scary, but that's the intent. Although there is a time and place for these kind of letters, you can often take a more gentler approach. Your approach can even be apologetic. Hey, I'm just trying to enforce my rights here. You can even be funny. Take In-N-Stout beer, clearly named after the famous and delicious burger joint In-N-Out Burger. In-N-Out Burger said they felt obligated to hop into action to prevent further issues from brewing. Use of our marks by third party ails us, they said. They concluded by looking forward to resolving this in good spirits. Anheuser-Busch sent a town crier to Modest Brewing Company for using Dilly Dilly. The town crier read a parchment written in calligraphy.
Hear ye! Hear ye! We are duly flattered by your loyal tribute. However, Dilly Dilly is the motto of our realm, so we humbly ask that you keep this to a limited edition, one-time only run.
Here, they asked the brewing company to limit the beer to a single edition. This illustrates whether you send or receive a cease and desist letter, you should be willing to negotiate. For example, maybe you can negotiate donating product to charity instead of destroying remaining inventory. Starbucks sent a letter to a brewery that sold a drink called Frappuccino. In response, the brewery owner sent $6 for selling 3 beers called Frappuccino. If a famous brand that had a scandal sends your nonprofit a letter, you may be able to successfully argue that you don't want to associate yourself with that brand and that it would be beneficial to your client to move forward solely on its good name and reputation that it's worked so hard to establish. True story. Whether you send or receive a cease and desist letter, know that enforcement doesn't always look the same and you need to talk to your trademark lawyer about how to best proceed with your specific set of facts. Ultimately, if a cease and desist letter doesn't lead to settlement, you'll need to file a lawsuit in court. This will typically be in federal court, but federal courts do not have exclusive jurisdiction over trademark issues. Even with cease and desist letters, trademarks are fun.